Y'all tuned in to Wood the Barber YouTube page. What I'm doing is I'm doing the Juice Fade box, uh, 2019 version, so to speak. So what I'm doing is I'm using my two-speed Andes detachables, and I knock down all the hair. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm knocking down all the hair, knocking down the hairline, kind of going around my perimeter to give it that clean look. Making sure the hairline lays completely down is key. You want to make sure your line is always laying down. That way it doesn't shift or move on you. Right now I'm using the alloys, the Andes alloys, fade blade. And I'm just using it. I'm going in the tier. I'm lining it up. I'm making sure that my box is even, symmetrical. Making sure that first tier is small enough to kind of tap into the bigger, taller tier. So I'm constantly just molding, as like I said, like you needed to. I'm still using my alloys. I'm knocking the hair down on this lower tier. I'm coming in, but I'm going up at the same time. What that does is that define the line to be able to give that first tier of that box to stand correctly straight up. I'm going over the top, even consistent strokes. I'm constantly taking my time to look back at the hair. I'm looking at the front of it. Also has a mirror in front of me. You just can't see it, but I'm looking through my mirror at the same time while I'm doing this. So I'm trying to get that first tier step to show some type of separation from the smaller step that I'm creating. So I'm going up with the fade blades, alloy, Andes clippers. I'm constantly going up on that fade. I'm going up on the front a little bit, just kind of getting that perimeter stand straight up. I'm getting that side where it kind of stands off kind of to itself like it should be. I'm just throwing a couple little parts in there, so I got my T outliners. So I'm going inside. I'm gonna knock the hairline down once again with the 1.5 detachable Andes. Detachables, I like those because they tend to give an even, crisp cut. So I'm just taking my liners, just kind of cleaning out the lines, making me two little parts, and I'm also throw another part in there. As you can see, I'm going down that center part to kind of give a little bit of separation, contrast between that shorter step and that taller step. Once again, this is the Juice Fade, but I'm doing it more of a 2019 version of a Juice Fade, so to speak. So I'm dropping that another line. I'm not going to bring that one all the way to the hairline, seeing that I already have two parts kind of towards the front of the hairline. So I went off of the hairline a little bit just to create that first line to the right to put in between the box. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing separation. I'm separating the lower from the top part just to kind of divide it a little bit. I'm taking my liners as well, still doing the same thing that I implemented with the alloy fade blades. I'm taking my liners and I'm still kind of cleaning that top just to kind of make sure that is clean, is precise. I want the hair to lay a certain type of way where you can really see from a nice little distance away. You're able to see the cleanness. I'm using the alloys once again. I'm cutting the sides. And you see how I'm kind of going the way that the box, that first tier, is kind of venturing off. It's kind of going in a curve, so to speak. So I'm curving it as well. Still with the alloys, I'm going over this top, trying to keep the top kind of clean, keep it precise. So now I'm taking a step back, looking at it, stepping over, still trying to make sure this left small box tier is perfected. As I'm kind of coming down, I'm angling my fade blades a little bit further down. Now I'm coming across on the second tier, coming straight across, looking at it directly on allows you to make sure that everything is looking symmetrical like how it should be. Once again, consistent even strokes are always needed to be able to achieve this to the best ability that you're going to be able to form with this box. Once again, I'm going in with my liners again, just cleaning out my parts, focusing a little bit more on the detail aspect of making this box really come to life. Starting on the side of the hairline, since I got those lines kind of going in between the box, I'm right where I need to be at. Usually when it comes to lines, sometimes people start in the center. Sometimes people will start on either the left or the right side. making sure that the angles are even. I got my masters right now. Kind of just knock down some of the hair I was noticing before I get ready to start dropping the designs. Now, when it comes to designs, there's really no wrong way of doing it, but you want it to have some type of consistent flow. So I started off balding out. Now I'm kind of just dropping a couple lines, curving. When I do my designs, I use mainly the corner of the clippers. If you notice, I'm going in, I'm angling corner to corner, either the left corner or the right corner. The only time I lay my blade flat is when I'm making a straight line, just like I just did with that line. It's a corner again. I'm using complete corner. There's no wrong way of doing a design. You just want to make sure at all times while you're doing it, you have some type of basis of where you're taking it. Once again, you never want your design to look like it's either overshadowing the haircut, but more so to complement. So now I'm doing a little bit of outline. I'm kind of outlining the lines that I just created, seeing exactly where this might end up taking me. Once again, I'm using all corner. I'm laying it flat right there to create that line. But to get those curves and bends and twists, you're going to use the left corner and the right corner majority of the time. So again, I'm using the corner. I also set these liners myself as well as sharpen them. So I'm just dropping lines. And what I normally do is I typically start dropping lines just like you see. Now I'm using my Andes. I'm using the Andes right now. These are pretty good liners. I love them. These things are some hitters, man. They are a pretty good pair of liners. They're very, very durable. So once again, I'm just going in, doing a little bit more detailed work. And then what I'm end up doing is I'm going to take my my clippers and I'm going to go back and clean it out. You'll see that here shortly. There is no wrong way of doing designs. Whatever your mind creates, allow it to create. Just leave room for yourself to be able to do a lot of fading and shading and contrasting to really be able to make that design pop up off the hair. To get the size completely on this hair, I use my fast feeds detachable clippers. I used a 1.5 guard going down, and then I came back up with a 1.5 guard. I took a 2 from the transition of the side of the box, and I took it down with the 2 just to get the bulk out. I like to knock all the hair down for the most part. That way, when I start fading back up on it, it makes it a whole lot more smoother. Even when you're doing designs, you always want to make sure you're using like a 1.5 against the grain. That way the hair isn't moving or shifting on you while you're trying to draw lines. The lines actually come out more cleaner and more crisp and precise, where you don't have to really do a whole lot of extra strokes going over the same spot. These are Slimline Pros. These Andes, I love them. They are a good quality pair of liners. They're very, very light. Now I got my Wall 5-star Seniors cordless. It's open. Now I just threw the little small guard on there. I'm cleaning out the bottom. Guards back on. Just kind of cleaning out the fade. Got the small guard back on there. Very, very small guard. I call it the blend guard. So I'm just blending that little area. Got it open. Consistent strokes. Now right over this ear, I'm going to do the same thing. I still want this design to kind of have a star point right there where it's starting at. So I'm just going to kind of fade around it. Typically, most people probably would try to use the liners and kind of bald it out, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to commit. I wanted to leave a kind of dark transition into this fade in the front. Got the half guard once again. It's all the way open, closing it a little bit. Just got to kind of get a feel for it. I always tell people start off with your guard open and just kind of see how much hair it takes off, and you'll kind of know at that point whether if you need to take the guard off or close the guard a little bit or just don't go as high with the guard. So now that's the one guard. I'm using the one guard, just kind of tapping and cleaning. Using my liners. Creating that side, I already got the front going. So now I'm doing the sides. Making sure that bottom corner is even on both sides, as well as making sure that the hairline meets at the end of the eyebrow. That's usually a great start. Eyebrows are always even, especially on the ends of people's heads. So that's a real good perimeter base to be able to use as a guideline. So now I just got the T outliners going back, cleaning it out. All corner. You can use it either the way I'm holding it now, or you can flip them upside down. You can use the left corner again, the right corner. Never just commit to just laying your blade completely flat. You're just going to just create straight lines. So now I'm just still cleaning out. Just making sure everything is clean. I wanted to make sure I kept the hair dark up top as far as the top of my design. I left that still dark and just kind of fade around it. Once again, you want your design to look unique. You want it to look like it belongs on the haircut and almost make it seem as if the design wasn't there. The haircut would be an incomplete haircut. If you're going to put any type of artwork in the hair, make sure it flows and shows some type of level of consistency in the flow throughout the whole haircut. Still spending time cleaning out my lines. See, it's totally coming together now. Even in the back of this juice fade, I didn't go straight back. I curved it all the way at an angle off to the left. If you notice, it has a hard curve in the back. I kind of was like my own little twist to it. So now I'm just creating my corners, making sure they're even on both sides. When it comes to lining somebody's head, you always want to start off in front of them. You want to make sure that you're looking dead at them. You don't want to start off to the side or nothing like that without taking a good look at the front, because 9 times out of 10, if you do that, it's a good chance that your line is going to be uneven. One of the sides are going to look totally different. Now I'm adding a little bit of color, just some spray, just kind of for the YouTube video, add a little bit more of a spunk to it. I don't want a lot of trophies, so my aspect is always adding a little bit more twist to your haircuts. So I'm just putting a little bit of color on there. Don't really have time to dye the whole complete head, so I'll go to some temporary colors. I'm using the card to keep the separation, keep the colors from bleeding on one another. Just consistent with it, just staying consistent, spraying, using the card, making sure my sprays are even, making sure I'm covering all the area that I'm attempting to cover. Using a little bit of glitter, just to kind of give it a little extra little twist, a little extra little spunk for the kids. Kids love these type of haircuts. These haircuts will definitely get the kids' attention. You will keep clients for a nicer period of time with these type of different little haircuts. Now I'm using a dryer just because I don't want the color to start bleeding on the next color or start running. So I just use the dryer, just kind of tap it a little bit. Use a little bit of hold spray, a little bit more glitter. I'm just using the airbrush gun, kind of tap my hairline. I do use Topics and other fibers, but what I've learned is I like to use my airbrush gun on top of the fibers because it tend to make it stick and make it look a little bit more natural and last longer. So I'm doing razor work, making sure that my line is clean, getting all the excess black or anything that I might have missed, making sure those parts in the front are cleaned out, especially because that's the front of his head. So I definitely wanted those lines to pop and look as clean as I could possibly get them. Just using a razor, cleaning up his sides, making sure my peripheral is straight and even, making sure he have that sharp box look on his hairline to go with this nice juice fade box on the top of his head. So I know how to use my razor different angles. You always want to learn different ways of using your razor. Back with the Slimline Pros, just touching it up, put a little bit of oil sheen. And there you have it. Taking the neck strip. Neck strip just keeps the box even, keep me from touching it. A way of just getting any excess hair that was there without me having to grab it and mess up the box. Cleaning up all the extra hair that I might have just left on his neck, behind his ear, that invisible hair that most of us don't really pay attention to. Pay attention to detail. Detail is inevitable. You need to pay close attention to forehead hair, the whole nine. There you have it. This is my first YouTube video. Stay tuned. You will be hearing more from me. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube as well as my Instagram, WilderBarber317. I'm out.